Hey everybody, it's Genesis, and I know I've been promising to make videos for a while, and you've all been so kind and bearing with me in my awesome phone videos. So today I'm finally taking one on a real camera and setting up like this new moon reading and stuff. So I don't have a lot of extra stuff to say before we get into the cards. This is, like I said, just for this new moon that we have coming up on the 20th. Let's see, Sharon, I don't know how to say that, just retrograded back into Aries. So we've got that wounded healer thing happening strongly right now. The energy that I'm feeling is very much like releasing and creating at once, like death and birth at one time. How can I be letting go of what doesn't serve me? How can I be making the best out of my wounds, my narratives, my experiences? So that's just kind of what I'm feeling. That's something to keep in mind for your own growth, for your own goals. But yeah, without further ado, let's do this. I already cleansed the space with incense, but I really love using my singing bowl. So let's do just a little opening prayer together because I like to do that. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I have it's laundry day, so I'm wearing nice clothes because I always save my nicest clothes for laundry day. Anyway. Okay. Holy Creator, as we join in this space together to receive information, I ask that our heart spaces be open, our third eyes and throat chakra spaces be open, to understand clearly what's being said and sent, and to receive with love what's being transmitted. And also that all of our lower chakras, those energy centers of grounding and connection, that in this moment they are cleared and just kind of put back into alignment. And yeah, let us hear your words clearly today. Amen. Alright, I got 4 decks today because it just felt like a good day to bring everything out. 3 Oracle and just 1 Tarot instead of like 900 different tarot decks. And I know that there's probably something interesting coming up because I'm using my super trusted, I've had it for 900 years, Angel Healing Oracle, and that Tarot of the Cloister tarot deck that I use. So and I'm gonna pull probably 3 cards from each of these decks. And I'm gonna start with the Goddess Oracle. And I only bring the Goddess Oracle out when I feel like the goddesses in this deck, it's called the Goddess Power Oracle. It's by Colette Baron Reid, because some of you have asked what decks I'm using, and that one is phenomenal. She makes wonderful decks, another one being the Good Tarot. But anyway, this Goddess Power Oracle has a phenomenal selection of goddesses in it, and I only bring it out when I feel like they want to speak or want to guide us through something. So what I'm hearing right now is 3 goddesses. They will be our new moon council, and we can go ahead and then get the oracle cards and the tarot cards that go with those that are corresponding to their advice. Okay. And you can work with all 3 of these goddesses, like all 3 of these columns of advice if you want, or if just one of them really resonates with you, stick with that one. So you don't need to do everything that comes up. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. These are just meant to be avenues of guidance or help during this time. Goddesses, Sacred Feminine, and Divine Source Mother, please guide us to our highest purpose, our most loving and joyful life, and to what we can be doing right now that will best help us during this particular time, or will best help us make the most of our new moon intentions. Ooh. I immediately grabbed 3. They always do this. Okay, I love these goddesses, you guys. I'm so excited right now. I'm so excited right now. Just looking at these 3 cards. I'm gonna pull all of them. But just so you know, we have Freya, card number 15 with Radical Acceptance. The camera's so far away, I don't know why I'm holding this up. I'll take pictures and post the pictures on all the social media so that you guys can see what the spread looked like also. We have card number 2, Aphrodite, Romantic Love. And card number 28, Laiti, Revelation. The bottom of the deck, we have Bridget with Creative Spark. So always good to pay attention to. Okay, next up is going to be the Angel Healing Oracle. Manifestation is on the bottom of the deck. So just pairing that with the Creative Spark, what can you be creating? Even if you don't know exactly what the whole picture is yet, just being creative, just doodling, just starting some project, whatever it is, do that. It's going to be helpful. Ignite those fires in yourself. Put her there, put her there. No, we're gonna do the tarot last, actually. With you're already doing it on the bottom of the deck for the Work Your Light Oracle. So, let's get into these Oracle cards. We have Freya in the first column, Radical Acceptance. And I'll share her alignment message and her empowerment message also. But that number 15 works out to a 6, and 6 is that number of balance, of harmony, but it's also a number of taking stock of how far we've come and what we have to do going forward. And right now, that's kind of a collective energy, and that's very appropriate for the new moon. What have I done so far, and what do I need to do still? But where the radical acceptance comes in is that it's that perspective check, bro. What is going on now? What's really going on now? And how can I be aligned with that? You can't fight against the current of life. Yes, COVID is happening. Yes, a bunch of other crazy stuff is happening. It's election time. I know I keep using those like as the main examples because they're just big things that a lot of us are going through. But that radical acceptance, it really speaks to rapidly shifting your perspective regarding the way the world works, the way duality works. It's the immediate or almost immediate understanding or acceptance of the fact that we are divine. We aren't separate from it. We aren't separate from God. We aren't separate from the earth. We are not separate from one another. I watched like a video on YouTube the other day that was a narration of a Eckhart Tolle like book or like a piece of it. And he used a phrase called the underlying one life, and that really stuck with me. So with this Freya card, there's the radical acceptance of understanding that we all share and are a part of this underlying one life. And when you have this moment of acceptance, you, I think, begin to realize, A, that you are powerful, you are a creator in your life, but also that we need to be accountable to one another and responsible for one another. And in doing so, we allow an individual and a collective like perspective shift that helps us to level up to a consciousness that's more focused on like community, unity, and universal health, universal equality, universal love, instead of, you know, my family, my country, my space, just me, all. Everybody is part of the all. That Freya card comes with Emerging, which is one of my favorite cards in that angelic guidance deck, the angelic healing deck. Pay attention to the feelings that you have coming from within you. Pay attention to your dreams, to your intuition, to different things that are catching your attention. And with that, nurture yourself. That Emerging card usually comes up like when I see people getting ready to start a new adventure, who are uncovering pieces of themselves. And with the radical acceptance together, it's like, whoa, there's a whole new you coming out. There's a reason that there's been such a pressure cooker. That's like one of my favorite phrases, a pressure cooker of stuff happening, of old patterns coming up, of emotions coming up, of things being triggered. There's a reason that all of the wounds of us collectively are being shown. And it's so that we can let them get air, and also to see the beauty in them, to see the healing in them. Like I was talking about Sharon and that, you know, retrograding back into Aries and that wounded healer energy. That's where this Emerging card is really feeling strong to me, is how can you be reborn, or how can you break through in the most attentive, genuine way possible. Give birth to the most genuine version of yourself. And then the Work Your Light Oracle guidance for that column, because Freya just brought a lot of, hey, look at what's going on, was Get Grounded. And it says for empaths and highly intuitives, but honestly that could be extended to everybody at this time, just because the energy is so strong. There's so much going on. That Get Grounded card is very important. The other day yesterday actually, I went to Island Lake with my boyfriend, and it was a phenomenal trip, only like for a couple hours, you know, but just getting like 40 minutes from home and getting to be surrounded by birds chirping and just a variety of trees and greenery and the sunlight coming through the canopy was very refreshing. And if you can't do that, it's totally okay. Just go outside for a second. I don't care where you live. Stand on your porch, stand on a balcony. If you have to, just stand next to a window in the house. Like, there's always a way to find that sunlight or clouds or a piece of dirt or a handful of salt that you can hold on to and take a deep breath and feel Gaia's energy in. Always a way to do it. And make it a part of your routine as much as possible. I struggle very much with routines, but I'm learning that you can have small moments of focus and that they go a really long way. So even if it's just like 5 minutes in the morning, you take a deep breath and put your feet firmly on the ground and feel yourself just being steady and supported, take those 5 minutes. Make that grounding a regular thing. Okay, we're going to get into column number 2 with Aphrodite. I don't know why I always take my glasses off because I can't see. Okay, column number 2 with Aphrodite, which is romantic love, and the card number is 2. And much like Freya, I will read the empowerment message and probably the alignment message as well. Okay, forgiveness is the first one that comes up. So I have two avenues of thought here, 2 trains of thought, kind of. One is that, yes, romantic love is important, but we're going to pretend that we're not talking about any couples or anything for a second, and just the self. Because loving yourself is important, and you are in a partnership with yourself. You have both feminine and masculine energy. You have a mind and a soul. Like, there are always energies that need to be working together and aren't always doing that because there are miscommunications in the middle, right? So forgiveness and romantic love paired together to me really says to have a good sit down with yourself. Have you failed yourself in any way and not forgiven yourself for it? And I know that sounds really cliche, and I know forgiveness is not everyone's cup of tea, and it doesn't mean you condone any behaviors that hurt you, or that you need to start up a relationship with somebody that you've had problems with or that has hurt you. But forgiveness in this sense, like especially with the self, is just like coming to even footing with yourself. I'm trying to think of like a good example right now that's not too deep, but when we don't trust our own judgment, when we don't trust our own intuition, or when we overstep our own boundaries in any relationship, or especially in toxic relationships, we tend to really feel bad and get down on ourselves, and we don't always address that within ourselves. So regarding partnership with yourself, it's very important to be like, hey, like, internal self, you did the best that you could with the information that you had, or with the understanding that you had at that time. You know, now we've grown, things are a little different. I'm sorry that, you know, we went through this, but let's get on even footing with ourselves so that we can go forward. We're going to talk about that one with the tarot more, because there's something I'm missing there, but I'll wait. Also, with the romantic side of it, forgiveness is very important. Very important, especially when it comes to the narrative that we're telling within relationships. Right now, there are a lot of partnerships that I think can become just incredible, that are going to lead to like healthy, safe, loved children who are not recovering from their parents' traumas and like the rules growing up. I think we're like in a space to have partnerships that are just foundational for society going forward. That's going to come with work. A partnership like that is going to come with work. Any partnership is going to come with work. So I think an attitude of consistent forgiveness is very important. And I'm not saying stay with somebody who cheats on you or lies to you, or you guys really aren't good. But in a relationship where you are really good for each other and you love one another, there are going to be miscommunications. There are going to be unintentional hurts. The hope is that you use those unintentional hurts, you use those moments of miscommunication to open up to one another, to talk to one another. If I lash out, that's on me. And it's up to me to kind of figure out why I'm lashing out. And it's also up to me to bring it to the other person, to my partner, and say, hey, I fucking flipped. And I'm realizing that it's because of these factors, which doesn't make it okay. But I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that I flipped on you, and that, like, you know, I hope that sharing the cause of it is helpful, and I hope that, you know, going forward, I'm going to be more mindful of it. And ideally, your partner will be like, it's okay. Like, you know, I didn't like it. It sucked. I appreciate you telling me. I appreciate the communication. And, you know, let's work it out. A lot of people have told me that, like, they love to see my boyfriend and I together. Like, we're really good together. They're like, man, you guys are great. Like, yada, yada, yada. It seems like you never fight. And for the most part, we really don't fight. We've had, like, a couple arguments tops. But that's not to say that there hasn't been work behind it. It's not to say that there hasn't been forgiveness behind it. He has seen the ugliest pieces of myself, the most toxic pieces, ones that y'all probably don't even think exist. And has been able to look at me with that kind of divine love that I was talking about in a different video or post, I think, and say, like, you know, let's work through this. Not to say it's okay, like, if I'm not being healthy, like, you gotta do something about it. But I love you, because what you're going through is a part of the human condition. You're going through trauma recovery. You are going through these things. So I think it's important to choose who we allow ourselves to be hurt by, and how, and what all is going into that, and to understand that to create lasting healing relationships, things need to be addressed. They need to be addressed within yourself or with a partner, be it romantic, friendship, anything, a business partner. there needs to be a flow of communication, and there needs to be understanding of the human condition when you or the other person is experiencing that. And a consistent attitude of forgiveness helps with that flow. Forgiving doesn't mean the problem is erased, but it does mean that the problem is addressed, at least in some way. The Work Your Light Oracle that came with that is Align Your Life. It says, what is not aligned or needs to change? And we'll get into that one more with the tarot because I feel like there's other messages there. But I'm just going to pause it, slide on over to column number 3 with Laity, number 28, which works out to 10, which is an ending and a beginning, right? It is the one and also the infinite. And her card is Revelation. It's sudden understanding. Laity is a goddess of lightning, of like sharp, immediate thought. And this card to me also signifies blessings. Like when you have an immediate, clear understanding of something, it's like all of a sudden 10 other things make sense. So if you take these cards all as a group, if you take Freya's radical understanding and really, really apply that, to your consciousness, and you take Aphrodite's forgiveness and alignment, and you're like, okay, like where can I be kind of pairing these things together? How have I been telling the story of my life to myself? And how have I been telling the story of my place in the world to myself and to others? What narrative have I been allowing to shape everything up to this point? Laity's Revelation will come in and help you understand those things. You'll be like, shit, I've had a victim mentality. Or even though I've worked through this in some ways, I see it popping up here. Here's a way to work on that. That's a constant thing for me. That's a consistent, all the time thing. But it's good to invite those revelations in. It's good to have that sudden understanding for yourself, because it brings with it creativity, new ideas, forgiveness. It helps you to understand what others are going through. It helps you to be more empathetic and sympathetic. The more we understand ourselves, the more we understand the people around us. And nothing is better than that. Nothing is better than that, because it takes you out of yourself and it allows you to become your whole self, I think, or to actualize yourself. Once we see that other people in the world are feeling what we're feeling or going through what we're going through, that, I don't know, just that they're focused on their own worries, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, like, we're all going through this weird shit. I'm still me. I'm going to do my thing. I don't know. That might have been a weird way to put it, but the card that came with that from the Angel Healing Oracle is Trust. I love this card so much. It's talking about building trust. So this overall has an element of like building trust within yourself and with the universe. I know I talk a lot about like trusting spirit, but trusting yourself is key. And it's key first, actually. It should be primary. You are the one who knows you best. You are the one who is experiencing you from the inside, and you are the one who is your own connection to the divine. Sometimes we have to unlearn other stuff and relearn that we are our own end-all be-all, that we are our own creators and our own expressions of the divine, because, you know, parents or society or whoever teaches us that a idea or a governing body or a particular deity are the avenues and the authorities of our understanding. But it's not true. You are your own individual expression of the divine. Therefore, the creator themselves spit you directly out. No one can tell you what is best for you but you. That doesn't mean don't listen to people that you trust. It doesn't mean don't get advice, and it doesn't mean don't, you know what I'm not saying to be reckless and to be hard-headed and to say that's just how I am, because that's not it either. But to trust yourself that you can and will make the right decisions for you. That's a weird way to put it. I'm remembering that I said I know my whole life, right? My favorite phrase my whole life has been I know. And in some ways that served me. That was an unending mantra of I know and I will know. And to an extent, it's been correct when it comes to partners and how long like I'll be with them, when it comes to learning relationships and like things like that, I have always ended up being right in what I knew and what I felt. But that I know was also certain, and it cut off a lot of communication, and it landed me in hard-headed ways of learning. So instead of I know, maybe replace it with I trust myself to make the right decision for myself. I trust myself to receive clear guidance on what I should be doing. I don't know the best way to phrase that. But anyway, that trust card, it goes a long way. Yes, trust spirit, trust, that you are provided for, that you're a part of this network. But more than that, trust yourself, trust the inner voice that you have that's guiding you towards different interests, that's guiding you towards new hobbies, new locations, that's guiding you to learn about spiritual practices outside of your normal sphere, so long as you're doing so, of course, respectfully. It's just developing trust with self. A theme I've seen a lot, I know I'm talking about this card for a minute, but a theme I've seen a lot from other readers, rather, like the couple that I really like, has been discernment. Use your discerning spirit. What is for me is probably not or may not be for you, and what's for you may not be for the next person. That's okay. If you are like a Hellenistic pagan and your friend like does not have any deities in any way, they don't like to put human faces on God, they talk to plants, and your other friend does none of it and they fucking love engineering or something, and even though they don't put it into the wavy spiritual words that we use, they might be, I don't know, one of my friends growing up like became an engineer, and she is so passionate and smart and loves it, but I don't know what the fuck she's talking about half the time. But I can tell that that's where intuition and trust and passion are for her within herself. And so you don't need to have, words like prayer and stuff in there when you can use the other things that work. So what's for you is for you. You have to weed out the pieces of yourself that are blocking that information. Again, perspective check, weeding out old narratives and old mentalities. But as you uncover yourself, trust what you are uncovering. Trust who you are becoming, and it will pay off. The card that comes with that from the Work Your Light is Answer the Call. What is your soul calling you to do? What is your soul calling you to do? Trust it. Follow it. Okay. We're gonna grab a couple quick tarot and read those alignment messages, and then that'll be it. Yeah. Sorry, this was a little longer than I meant for it to be, but that's okay. There's nothing better than stuff coming through. Okay, I love this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. The Seven of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. We'll read the bottom of the deck cards in a second. Freya, with her Get Grounded and Emerging, came with the Queen of Staves. Came to work, okay? That Queen of Staves or Queen of Wands is the Queen of Passion, spirituality, work, balancing all of these 900 things at one time. She can be a powerhouse in her career and like the best wife and mom in the whole entire world, and also somehow run a book club, and at the same time she's going to the gym, and you're like, how are you doing this? That energy is coming up. The Queen of Wands is grounded. She trusts the pieces of herself that are emerging. But most importantly, she has accepted that she is part of that underlying one life. She understands that there is a current running through, and that as long as you understand the flow of that current, you can absolutely juggle all of those things. But I also feel this energy coming up to be of assistance. So when you're tackling this Freya column, or when you're working with this Freya energy, don't be afraid to ask for what you want and need. Do not be afraid to ask for what you want and need. And I'm also hearing that that's regarding spiritual support, ideas, passion, energy, not necessarily material items, but what is it that you need to start shifting your consciousness? What is it that you need to start expanding your understanding and your awareness? Do you need shadow work support? Do you need, new friends? Do you need exposure to new media? What is it around you that can help bring in new information to your mind? Aphrodite, with her forgiveness and align your life, brought us the Ace of Vessels. It started out upside down, so we know aces are our potential. The Ace of Vessels kind of being like, what's the word? The Holy Grail was what was coming to mind, but the potential of all spirit, of all emotion, of all understanding, all intuition, the potential of all communication. So in some ways, it being upside down says to me that people are not utilizing their potential, and I feel like this is almost for a specific person, that you're holding in, like, a lot, or that you don't feel what you have to say has worth, and that's very untrue. Flip that card right side up. That Ace of Cups is there to bring the entirety of forgiveness, of mercy, of rest, of surrender. Okay? Let go. Let go. I don't know what y'all are holding on to, but let it go. There is no reason. It makes you heavy. It makes you very heavy. When you let go of hurt, when you let go of trauma, when you let go of pain, you are not losing yourself. You are not abandoning anything. You're just shifting your understanding of it. And it can be scary to move from a place of surviving, or to move from a place of holding in. Like, I know, like, y'all can message me if you need to. We can talk about it. But it's so worth it for yourself to do it. That is available to you. An abundance of love is available to you. And of course, also I do want to say, because Aphrodite came out with the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Vessels, there is of course the possibility of a relationship. Y'all know, if you've seen me, that I try not to mess around with relationship stuff too much unless it like really comes up, because my role and my gift tends to work on relationship with self and divine. But there is potential, and if you're looking for a relationship, or if you're looking to fix up your relationship, an outpouring is going to be necessary. So, the last one in this group being Laetzi's Trust and Answer the Call, covered by the Ten of Swords. I did not know I could be so in love with cards, but I am in love with the Ten of Swords this year because it says an ending, like a definitive ending to me. And that is a painful card usually. I mean, it's somebody laying on the ground with 10 swords in their back, but it means it's over. Whatever that you have been working on, whatever it is that you have been really struggling to let go of, to clear yourself of, to climb out of the pit, you've done it. And it has probably been incredibly stressful. It's probably been scary. I had a Ten of Swords moment when I left my old job, because leaving that job wasn't just leaving a job, but it was leaving behind an entire, like, several timelines and an image of myself and what I needed to be, or how I needed to behave. And so it was a literal shedding of all of these, like, sense of self things and expectations. And so it was very difficult, I'll be honest. I cried a lot. Like, there was a lot going on that time. But from then to now, I've been fucking flourishing, at least comparatively. So that Ten of Swords is a card that makes me very happy to see for others, especially with this new moon energy. Because you are capable of doing this. You are capable of taking a leap of faith, even if it's one that seems daunting. You are capable of making it through your Ten of Swords moment. Okay? The ending note, guidance, or kind of underlying messages in order. We have Brigid, Creative Spark, card number 8. 8 is one of our portal numbers, and it's one of our numbers of work. If you think of the Eight of Pentacles, one of my tarot cards, the depiction is a man like working on carving pentacles into either gold or wooden discs, and I think like there are 7 of them hung up in a line, and the 8th one he's working on. So this is saying like you've also to some extent not perfected, but really gotten good at an element of your craft. Okay, so not just the creative spark of doing something new, but also of diving into your craft more, of buckling down and pouring kind of finer details and elements into your work. Like, for some reason what's coming to mind is if somebody was illustrating a book, they would start doing the illuminated like letters or whatever that style is called. You would start adding more elements. You would make the pages, you know, gold edged, and the binding leather with like different vines and things embossed into it instead of just a regular binding or cover. So there's an element of adding your own personal touch to what you're doing, to adding your own style or your own gift to what you're creating. There are a variety of artists, a variety of readers, 900 different people doing very similar things right now. So being yourself and allowing who you are to spill into what you're doing and refining who you are and what you're doing is going to be very beneficial right now. That's echoed by the 7 of Pentacles that we see right here. Of course, the guy is standing. He looks pretty satisfied. The vines are growing. You got 7 nice gold pentacles there. He's leaning against whatever tool he's using, and there are mountains in the background. So we're working towards an attainment of knowledge and working towards a goal. And 7s also bring opportunities. So by working with your creative energy, by working with your own genuine, like, you know, knowledge, you also allow an abundance of opportunities to start coming in. The more we become ourselves, the more we allow stuff to come in. I had a really interesting experience, which I probably would not have otherwise shared, but in this moment it seems fitting, where after a ritual, Metatron came through, and I'll be honest, I was unintentionally a little snarky when I was inviting him. I feel like it was a setup, but that's okay. He came through later and like bonked me out of my head and showed me this unfolding, right? We say that the world works in frequency and vibration and color and sound, and it's easy to say, yeah, I get that. But it was like seeing an unending series of lines unfolding on itself. And when you are vibrating at your frequency, when you are doing what is most you, whatever it is that makes you most happy, you will attract things of that nature to you, and that unfolding will continue. The universe is always expanding. There's always room for you to be who you are and for you to create what it is that you want. My idea of heaven on earth is going to be different than somebody else's, and their idea of heaven on earth is going to be different than the next person's. There will probably be some similarities that overlap, but they won't be exactly the same. And so we'll be able to bring in these different elements, these fine-tuned mechanisms, just by being ourselves. And then by being our highest selves, purposefully or with purpose, reaching for like our highest connection, our highest understanding, our most expanded and aware consciousness. Imagine what we can create together and individually like that. Oh my God. We really could have flying cars at some point. Although I don't know like how sustainable that is. But anyway, you know, we could do stuff. You guys are done. Manifestation, of course, was the bottom of the angelic healing deck. Manifestation is hugely important, and it really, really matches Bridget's creative spark and that Seven of Pentacles. With this new moon, I know I have talked a lot about releasing, but please do not hesitate to work on manifesting. I just manifest every day. Manifest all the time. Manifest a quarter. A particular quarter. Work on it every day. Manifest a piece of fruit or some food. Like, manifest more experiences, like new experiences. Just Google manifestation. I'm not doing a whole manifestation lesson right now. I will in the future. But every day be putting your energy into what it is that you want and what you truly want. Make sure your intention is clear and that your heart is really feeling what it is that you're trying to bring into the world. And then bring it to the world because the world is ready to give it. Okay. The last card is you're already doing it. So do not be hard on yourself, please. I don't know why I'm holding it up all close to there. Like, oh, there you go. Y'all can't see that. But I'll take a picture. But you're already doing it. So stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. That really lines up to me with that trust card and the get aligned card. You're already doing it. So be kind to yourselves right now. Okay. Let's see. I was going to read the alignment messages, but I'm actually not going to. I might take pictures of them and post them online. But that is it for the new moon reading. I hope it was really helpful. I hope you guys liked it. As usual, my books are open. I'm taking clients for monthly forecasts for August, September, and starting in November, I'll be taking clients for the yearly readings, the yearly forecasts. You absolutely can book it now. I will hold the spot for you, and yeah, I'm not going to start doing the readings until November so that we are closer to, the new year coming up. But, we're in the second half of the year, so it's something to think about. And yeah, that's it. I'll have another video for you guys. We can talk about manifestation soon. We'll talk about shadow work soon and something else, but I don't remember what it is. All right, I love you. Stay hydrated. Always have a perspective check. See what's going on. What narrative are you telling? Stay hydrated ×2 because it's somewhere in the world that's crazy out there. And be kind to yourself. Okay, I love you. Bye.